The questions Kenyans are asking, in conclusion, is whether it is routine for the Chief of Defense Forces to go and inspect construction of classrooms.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, it appears as if the faction that is worst affected by this sudden death of Francis Ogola, the former CDF, is the Azimio faction. I have seen UDA also, politicians try to talk about the issue, but the faction that is affected the most is the Azimio faction. Anybody would have expected that that would be the case, that there will be some kind of blame game. And then there would be one faction that feels aggrieved. So for this case, the Azimio faction feels overly aggrieved. But we'll understand the scenario, ladies and gentlemen. So Azimio had a press conference, regarding this matter. And this is the same day that William Ruto also visited the CDF's home. There were other activities. It is the same day that Babu Owino posted his questions, almost 13 questions, that if they are answered well, then I think, according to him, if those questions are answered, then I think he's going to feel okay. Because the questions were posting a lot of doubts as to why or how the death of Francis Ogola could have taken place. So I want us to go to a statement that Martha KARUA unleashed. Martha KARUA was given an opportunity to read the statement, the Azimio joint statement, but then somewhere along that statement, I pointed out something. And Martha KARUA talked about the two survivors.
General Ogola died in the course of duty alongside 9 other officers. Fortunately, the brutal hand of death left behind 2 unidentified survivors. We also ask that they be secured and afforded the best treatment that we can afford.
On these 2 survivors, Martha KARUA is saying that they need to be secured. They need to be given protection, they need to be secured, and their whereabouts are supposed to be known. What is the motive behind this kind of request? So I want us to go deeper into that statement, because Martha KARUA goes further and talks about certain scenes that she says she saw, a certain video on how that helicopter took off, how it was misbehaving. Someone was giving a blow-to-blow account on this helicopter and said the propeller, it appears as if the propeller had failed. It was not functioning.
Tunakula lunch. Wakati tunakula lunch, baada hatujakula, ndege ikakuja tu hivi. Vile tuliangalia ilikuwa propeller haisunguki. Wengine wanasema shuka hapo, inashuka hapo. Wakati inafika inashuka, kumbe ni kuanguka tu, ikakuja hivi tu straight. Ikaanguka ikalala hapo chini.
So there are so many things. If you look at what this witness said on his side and what Martha KARUA attempted to say, then there is something that people are not told about. So I want us to go deeper into those 2 scenarios, ladies and gentlemen. But first, kindly like this video. Subscribe to our channel if you are a viewer who hasn't subscribed to this channel. For those who've supported us before, thank you so much for making this channel grow. The onlooker said he saw an helicopter that was somewhere there around the place, but the propellers were not working. And then all of a sudden, he said he had a bang. And that's when they realized that the helicopter had fallen, So in that statement that Martha KARUA released, it's in line with the onlooker's blow-to-blow account of what could have taken place. Because Martha KARUA says that it's abnormal how that helicopter behaved when it was, ascending, and how it came down. It is abnormal.
We will always remember General Ogola as a devout patriot and dedicated soldier to the Republic of Kenya from the day he graduated. He has been through multiple tours of duty and ultimately, as the top soldier in Kenya, the Chief of Defense Forces, the CDF. He was revered by his colleagues at home and abroad. He has had a service of 40 years. Kenya's 11th CDF was a focused visionary whose impact on our disciplined forces, indeed our nation, will be greatly missed. To General Ogola's family and the families of the other fallen soldiers, we offer our deepest condolences. At this most difficult moment, we stand with them and our prayers are with them. As Azimio, we are deeply concerned that the Kenya Defence Forces have had several other accidents in the last 12 months, including yesterday's tragic crash. This must be thoroughly investigated. We are aware that it is the Kenya Defence Forces that secures the flights of their commander-in-chief, as well as of their top officer, who is the CDF, the Chief of Defence Forces. They have done so successfully since independence, and yesterday's accident was unprecedented. We are therefore saying that this is of great concern to Kenyans. It needs serious investigation, and it raises pertinent concerns about the safety of our airspace and especially of our disciplined forces. We need a serious relook into our security equipment, especially the aircraft, and we need to undertake a complete overhaul. Yesterday's unfortunate accident needs expeditious investigations, and this will not only help ease the already tense and anxious feelings of Kenyans, but it will put an end to any speculation. The investigations must be open and reports made to the public. We also wish to ask the Ruto administration to consider the welfare of our disciplined forces and their families, and we suggest that in commemoration of General Ogola and the brave soldiers who died yesterday and the countless unsung heroes, the Disciplined Forces Welfare Fund should be established as soon as possible to address the well-being of our disciplined forces. The questions Kenyans are asking, in conclusion, is whether it is routine for the Chief of Defense Forces to go and inspect construction of classrooms. Was this a plan within the military, or was it a directive? There are many questions which beg answers. Even the visual images of that accident, I don't want to say anything more that may prejudice investigations. They leave us with anxiety, and answers are needed as soon as possible.
One would easily say is either there was some kind of mechanical breakdown, but the pilot maybe could have just decided to take off despite the fact that there was that kind of hitch. Or could it be that someone had intentionally done this without the helicopters, without the pilot's knowledge? So many questions are lingering in so many people's minds. But let's leave that part for another day. I want us to go to what Martha Karua said about protect the two survivors. Why do you think Martha Karua is calling for such a kind of protection? You know, is she seeing a scenario whereby there could have been some kind of struggle up there? Well, I've not done so much research as to whether there can be black boxes in helicopters. I believe there was a black box, because I know that in aeroplanes, you know, when you take a flight, these aeroplanes normally have black boxes where that records events within the aeroplane. These ones always give some kind of evidences as to what could have taken place while the aeroplane was up there in the sky. So I believe that for the helicopter also, there must have been a black box. So if what Martha Karua is trying to tell us, because I know what she's trying to lead the whole story to. I mean, probably, maybe she's trying to say that there could have been something that took place up there. Because how comes the two gentlemen survived? But of course, anybody can survive. I'm not saying that it's only the gentleman that survived. Anybody can survive, you know. It depends with bahati yako. But is Martha Karua trying to point to a possibility of a struggle out there? Because these two people are supposed to be secured. Either they know something, according to Martha Karua, that is, or they did something. Or maybe they are the only witnesses who can give an account of what could have taken place. So many questions without answers, ladies and gentlemen. But Martha Karua has hinted at a possibility of foul play, a possibility of something that has not been told. But even if these people are not there, there is a black box. But the question is, this black box, who is going to investigate it? Who is going to give the details out? Probably the black box will not just say to the public, but these two people might leak something to their friends, who will leak to their friends, and then this chain will just continue until the whole world knows what could have taken place. But for the black box, it is only selected people who will have information to that gadget, if at all it's there. But I believe it's there. So, ladies and gentlemen, personally, I'd like to rest my case there. But you've heard what Martha Karua's request is all about. Secure the two survivors. So, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, please take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. So until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.